Hi everyone, I am Tara, aka Spirit Mother, and I would like to welcome you all back to my channel on YouTube, Spirit Teaches Go Self, on TikTok, 1974 Life Old, and I'm also live on my Facebook. If you're new to my channel, I always recommend, suggest, and really encourage people to read the description on my YouTube channel, Spirit to Spirit Teaching and Going Within Self, to get a better understanding of what it is that I bring forward on my channel. As some of you are aware, I'm all over the place. Politics, medical stuff, like talking about medical stuff. I use a lot of my own life experiences as I had. And I look at things from a different perspective. Okay? I go down rabbit holes. And time travel was actually one of them. Okay? Because, I actually experience it. And Spirit shows me. Today, I'm talking about the Jeffrey Epstein's files because it's pretty popular right now. Like at first, Donald Trump, that was the campaign he ran. He ran the campaign on releasing the Jeffrey Epstein files, the JFK files, and the Martin Luther King files. Okay, and then all of a sudden now nothing came out yet that I'm aware of, and they're saying that no, and we're not bringing out the Epstein files. There's nothing there, and Donald Trump is like, why don't you guys like just let it go, get over it, right? It's like nothing to see here. Shit. But there is. And if there wasn't anything to see, then they would bring them out, right? See, especially where the MAGA is saying so much, it was saying so much about all the Democrats on the list. Well, that's part of Donald Trump's thing, the Democrats, Biden, Obama, Hillary Clinton, right? I don't care. They're all like bad, like not that great, if you ask me, because they're all guilty. Gurisita morisita, nusu munesa karesulito bure karai. Like I said, if you're new to my channel, I always recommend and suggest and encourage you to read the description because you're going to get this. Because my channel is spirit to spirit, and those spirits know who I'm talking to. So if you take offense to my channel, then I guess you're connected with them. Because Spirit's been doing a lot of channeling with me with regards to Jeffrey Epstein. Because the thing is, are you looking in the right place? See? Okay. Because if you take yourself, okay, you think of back in time, going back in time, right? And I figured this out through doing my own genealogy. You put the pieces of the puzzle together to get the bigger picture. And Spirit's been recognizing people. See, the thing is, Jeffrey Epstein had an island, okay? But was that the decoy? Was there actually another island involved? Because I know another island that Donald Trump is connected to, which happened to be Samuel Ball's island. The one that people talk about with regards to Oak Island. And like I said, Samuel Ball looks an awful lot like an older version of P. Diddy. Now, I'm talking about time travel. The people that look into time travel, the people that look and you look at pictures from the past, and you put it into the people that you're seeing in the present. Now, let's start off with, okay, they said that in Oak Island, it was Donald McGinnis, Samuel Ball, and Anthony Vaughn. And, John Smith was thrown in there too. Well, my ancestors were married to Anthony Vaughn's brother. Anthony Vaughn's father, senior, he was the executor and witness in my sixth great granddaddy's will. I'm going back in time, okay, because this gives a bigger picture, okay. And John Smith, he was actually the stepson to one of my great aunt's husbands, which happened to be most likely one of my great grandparents. Isn't Donald Trump's grandmother, wasn't she a Smith? They come from the Smith family because Duncan Smith owned property, which he was a relative of John Smith. And Duncan owned property just up from my great granddaddy, sixth great granddaddy on Oak Island. And it's Donald Trump's second or third great uncle. Everybody says Donald Trump is a time traveler. Well, he takes his little buddies with him when he goes. See, some people I probably lost there, but Donald Trump is actually Donald McGinnis. And P. Diddy is Samuel Ball. And Jeffrey Epstein is the 13-year-old boy. Anthony Vaughn. The one you said, help me find it. What did P. Diddy do with, what's his name? Justin Bieber? They had a habit of collecting kids, right? Because that's what Peter Pan does. Because Peter Pan is Donald Trump. Maybe I'm losing people here, but hey, do your research. If you actually want to understand what it is you're observing, because everybody says everything is an illusion. So there was once an island called Hook Island. And I know there's a Hook Island in the States. But the one over from Oak Island, okay, it was originally Hook Island until Samuel Ball, I guess, changed it to Sam's Island, which is really strange because Samuel Ball didn't own any property, and I brought that forward on here. Now, has anybody really looked into Sam's Island? Because Donald Trump has ties there. Why do you think Donald Trump wants to annex Canada? He had to have special permission to come into the summit, did he not? Because he's a convicted felon. See, that's the thing that, people want to steal off. You want to say about all this stuff, but you don't want to look at a pattern. You don't things you don't want to hear. You really don't want to hear it. And in the book of Thomas, Jesus said, you might want to start hearing. They'll tell you, see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Why the fuck do you think they tell you that? And who tells you that that was said? So, ganito kaya recito pure no to sa. See, I know the different versions of people. because I see it, and I see a part of Donald Trump in my ex-husband. So if people think that I don't know that I'm surrounded by the enemy, and people say, "Oh, you're just fucking paranoid." No, no, no. You know, the way people treat me, yeah, I know. See, Jeffrey Epstein was not the ringleader. He was the scapegoat. Did he do shit? You're fucking right, he did. Yes, he did. And see, the thing is, he didn't commit suicide. People say, well, we know he didn't commit suicide. Well, he wasn't really murdered yet either. Because they moved him. Did you ever notice that, okay, in July 6th, 2019, that Jeffrey Epstein was arrested, and he had been convicted in 2005 too. But it was 2019 July 6th. Well, wait a minute, wasn't Donald Trump doing his campaign again? Because see, when they caught Jeffrey Epstein was going to roll on them all. So they had to stage his death. But they actually took him somewhere. And they're, you know, most likely torturing him. Because if they did kill him, then they killed him by caving in his skull. But they wanted to know what he knew first and what he told. Because you think of it this way, at the time of Jeffrey Epstein's death, he was 66 and Donald Trump was 73. See, you think P. Diddy, and P. Diddy's what, 56, 57? Six, 57. Because see, P. Diddy was 17 when, or sorry, Samuel Ball was 17 when he met Bond. Anthony Bond. He was 17 and Anthony Bond was 13. Well, my calculator doesn't want to work. Strange. So, no, I'll do it the old fashioned way. 44. Oh, wow. I've been seeing that number a lot. Now, if you look back, okay, because, you know, my great sixth grade granddaddy, they wiped all of his stuff out of history. See, there's a weird thing. I look at things as synchronicities because I believe there's no such thing as coincidence. It's just synchronicities. Now, in the Boulder trial, yes, I'm going back there. The 15-year-old girl that was supposed to have been burnt in the fire, which, like I said, she didn't burn in the fire. I believe that my sixth great granddaddy was her real father, her biological father. And he took her to safety, but he hid her to protect her. And it just so happens, like when you look it up, the little girl, the 15-year-old girl's name was Elizabeth. And in the book of Thomas, when you open up on the first page, it says to Elizabeth. And do you know that Elizabeth was Mary's friend? E câtă pătichiesc comunitate. See, Donald Trump is, and the governmental systems, all the systems, not just Donald Trump, but he's just kind of escalated things. They're dividing people, and they want it's like they put family against family. Well, here in the book of Thomas, number uh, number 55, it says, Jesus said, "Whoever does not hate father and mother cannot be a follower of me. And whoever does not hate brothers and sisters and bear the cross as I do will not be worthy of me." So there. But see, the Bible don't recognize that. So, religious people won't recognize it. Why is that? Seriously, why is that? See, I'm doing the cross referencing in that because you have that book that the book that what was it, Baron Trump Adventures, the time travel. Hey, things are really strange because if you look at younger pictures, versions of like younger pictures of By, Byron, Byron Trump, he looks like an actor that was on Once Upon a Time, identical, and I mean identical. I posted on my TikTok. I took pictures and put them side by side for you. What? Because it's me, but you'll look at others and you say, "Oh yeah," but then you'll look at me and tell me I'm a fucking idiot. When I brought this part with regards to the time travel, with regards to Epstein, my ex told me, "Oh, it wasn't time travel." Yeah, yeah, it was. How do you think they all got fucking rich? Are you going to say it was from his fucking father? Is Donald Trump's father even his father? And hey, Donald, I come on here and I was scrolling here back a bit ago. I told everyone that Donald Trump was not born in the United States. But people are looking into it right now and they're finding out that he wasn't. What you're going to say? Oh, well, yeah, he was. But you'll say Barack Obama wasn't. But see, I think Ivana knows. And I said, I channel spirits. See, when I looked on Sam's Island and I Googled or Google mapped or whatever, Sam's Island, and I looked down and I zoomed in, the strange thing is, you can't see any houses on there. It's all trees. But now last year, when I went somewheres, that's when I was informed that Donald Trump has ties and friends on Sam's Island. So where are the houses? Is Sam's Island Pleasure Island? Cook Island. Didn't they say it was all underground? Diretto corritto porissimo noi, che stato te. And not only that, there's underground tunnels that lead from Sam's Island to Oak Island, but others will say, well, that's bullshit. Put it through us. They were done a lot. They were there a long time ago. Fuck. You say about the Knights Templar, the Masons, the Vikings. I'm lying. Bert, if anybody's seen my funky, funny message the other day, yesterday, I said the horse's name was Bert. See, people don't want to look at something other than what you perceive to be real because you can only see it. If you can't see it, then it's not real. But that's I'm we're pulling the veil down. It's like here, see it all. Purisita purita, no lo sa. Where is it? Yeah. Right here. Look at that. Okay. Let's have a little gander at the drawing that I did in 2020. We'll look at it again. You see it? It's the apocalypse. The father is a fascist. And that would explain why, maybe Jesus would dislike the father too. But in ways, it was parts of where he had said that he was the father. Well, Donald Trump is saying that he's the king and everybody's calling him daddy. Seriously. Is he using blackmail as his switch? Or is he going back in time? Recruiting? Peter Pan. Seriously. You're fucking Peter Pan. You say, oh well, in the story, Peter Pan was this great person. Yeah, with his Lost Boys, right? Didn't Donald Trump do on his Truth Social saying, what's going on with my boys and gals? Well, his boys are his Johns, and his gals, they're his sex workers. Get it? You look at me like I'm a fucking moron idiot when no, if you call me a fucking moron idiot, I guess you're Holy Spirit because it's Spirit bringing the information forward, and I just happen to be the messenger with the camera of it. But oh, we don't believe in that. But you believe in the prophets in the Bible? That makes no sense. Bicicleta Coreano. Okay. Yeah, maybe I did say, like, get a clue. Unlock that brain of yours. Unlock that eye. People will gaslight you with this. When you see something that just wasn't there, and then all of a sudden it's there, and somebody tries telling you, "Oh, it's been there." Well, no. Maybe in your world, your parallel world, or your realm or dimension, but just yesterday it wasn't there in mine. So he must have just he had to have just set them outside because they didn't fucking grow 4 feet overnight. But see, this is a lot of what's happening. They have the illusion, which keeps you focused on all of their bullshit and not really looking, because Epstein Island was actually the fucking decoy. You put ducks in a pond. You put decoy ducks in a pond to protect the other. What do you think Camboni is bringing into milk? Because maybe just that is somewhere involved. They do like to use their islands, right? Epstein called it Virgin Island. Well, it was Virgin Island. It was called Epstein Island. See, what's happening, what you're witnessing, is all this. Everybody thinks that 666 is a bad thing. Well, the Twitch represents your temple, and they're effing you from behind. So when your back is turned to them, they're getting you from behind. Okay? So you're looking in front of you, what they're showing you, but you're not looking behind to see what they're keeping from you, which would be the front is the decoy. Ganito po yan. So with Donald Trump having friends on Sam's Island, just across from Oak Island, this what friends does Donald Trump have on Oak Island? Or sorry, on Sam's Island, if there's no houses there. because all the trees are all compacted together. And they did say that some one sec, please. The property that Samuel Ball was said to have owned. Did you ever check anything out? Did you know where the house was? Because you'll find a fucking tunnel. Because, in the thing, Donald McGinnis actually just out of the blue vanished. That would explain time travel, right? So, people that like time travel has been around. It's always been there because it's like bending time and you think that the people in government don't know that? Go watch They Live. Hot Roddy Piper. They're going through portals. They're going through time. And why do you think